Hello everyone, how are you my dear students? I hope that you are all doing great. Okay, now it's time for lecture 2 in semester 3, week 30. In this lecture, we are going to cover a new comprehension lesson with a new comprehension skill, in addition to a new phonics lesson. Are you ready? Let's have some fun. So in this lecture, we are going to introduce the new theme, introducing new keywords, since we will have a new story. So also we're going to have a new genre this time. Also, the comprehension skill will be facts and opinion. You will be able to differentiate between facts and opinion. And in the phonics lesson, you will be able to read and write words with variant O sounds, which we call diphthongs. Your resources for this lecture are the Reading Writing Workshop book, pages 178 to 183. Also, ISI Phonics booklet, part 2, pages 3 to 11. Make sure that you have the booklets. And also, we're going to have worksheet 1 for semester 3 this week. At the beginning, we are going to cover the phonics. What are diphthongs? I'm sure that you are asking yourselves, what are diphthongs? Stay with me so we can know diphthongs together. Then we're going to introduce the new keywords and the new theme. After that, I'm going to introduce for you the facts and opinions, and at the end, we will be able to identify the genre. Let's start with the phonics, which is diphthongs. What are diphthongs? Whenever you hear diphthong, then we are talking about a sound. It's a sound. Since it's phonics, then we are talking about sound. Sound that is formed by the combination of two vowels in a single syllable. When we say syllable, we mean a part in a word that gives us one sound. Okay? So every part in a word that gives us a sound is called a syllable. And here in the diphthongs, I'm going to have two combination of two vowel letters together in one syllable and give us a certain sound. In a diphthong, the sound begins as one vowel and moves towards the another. Okay, so the sound will be combination for both vowel letters. Okay, we will not take the sound of one vowel letter. No, we will start with the first vowel and then we will move to the second vowel letter. It's also called as a gliding vowel, gliding, as if it is gliding, since it is a combination of two adjacent vowel sounds. Now, in order to know the diphthongs, we have to get introduced to the spelling patterns. We're going to get introduced to four spelling patterns. The first spelling pattern is when I have the A and the W, a team. Okay, here we are going to consider the W as a vowel letter. A and the W letters together, they make a team, or the A vowel letter and the U vowel letter together. Let's see what sounds they give us. The letters AW have the same sound as short O. How? Let's read the examples. Awful, author, fold, low. Okay, so here, if you notice that the vowel teams AW and AU are giving us the sound of the short vowel sound O. O, awful, O, author, fault, O, low, O. Okay? The second spelling pattern is when I have OW and OU. Pay attention, this is not the long O sound heard in snow, although it is spelled exactly the same. This sound has two spelling patterns, OW, OU. These vowel combinations, the OW and the OU, are diphthongs when they have the variant vowel sound as heard in cow and house. Okay? They do not make the same sound as in snow. Oh, no. They have the sounds as in cow and house, as in owl, shower, found, hour. If you notice here, the OW or the OU are making the sound ow, owl, shower, hour, found, ound, hour, hour. Okay? So these are the first two spelling patterns, the AW, AU that give us the short sound O, the OW, the OU that give us the sound ow. The third spelling pattern for the diphthongs is the OI. The OI has two adjacent vowels in a single syllable. Okay, so I have the O and then I have the I. Examples as in boil, point, noise. It's making the sound oi, boil, oi, point, noise, oi. The last spelling pattern is the OUGH. This pattern is special. Why? Because it doesn't have a specific pronunciation. So it has different pronunciations. As in tough, here the OUGH makes the sound F. Cough, also the OUGH makes the sound F. Though, it makes the sound O. Bow, here it makes the sound ah. Through, it makes the sound oo. So you notice that the OUGH pattern has different pronunciations. You're going to know these pronunciations through practice and through reading. Don't worry about it. Okay, guys, let's have some practice. This is the first exercise in your booklet. It's on page 8. Okay. I didn't add all of the exercises here in the lecture. You can go back to your phonics booklet in order to solve the rest of the questions, but let's have some fun now. Let's read first the words in the box. These are very important because you're going to do a dictation in these words. Let's read the words first. The first word, joint. The second word, foul, hoist, coil, stout, doddle, mouthful, counter, broad, ball, fountain, sprouls, since it's in the plural, douse, close, sprouts, cautious, turmoil, scrawny, foundation, and turquoise, or some people say it turquoise. Okay? Now let's fill in the missing letters of each word to form a spelling word. We have to fill in with the suitable spelling pattern. The first word is scrawny. Scrawny is missing the A, W. The second word, it is doddle. Doddle is also missing the A, W. The third word is missing the OI pattern, so it becomes joint. 4, it's missing the OU, so it becomes fountain. Number 5, it's missing also the OI, so it becomes turmoil. Number 6, it's missing the AU, so it becomes cautious. Number 7, it's missing the OU, it becomes foul. Number 8, it's missing also the OU, so it becomes counter. Number 9, it's missing the OU also, it becomes sprouts. And number 10, it's missing AW, it becomes ball. Number 11, it's missing OI, spelling pattern, it becomes hoist. Number 12, it's missing the OU, so it becomes stout. Number 13, it's missing the OI, it becomes coil. Number 14, it's missing the AU, it becomes clause. Number 15, it's missing OU, not AU, OU, it becomes douse. Number 16, this is turquoise, it's missing OI. Number 17 is missing the OU, it becomes foundation. Number 18, it's missing OU also, it becomes broad. Number 19, it's missing the OU also, it becomes mouthful. And number 20, it's missing the AW, so it becomes sprouse. Okay, guys, so now that we have finished from the phonics, go to your booklet, phonics booklet, and solve the rest of the exercises alone. Now it's time to start with the keywords and the theme. So as usual, guys, in order
Being
to get
resourceful.
a clear
How can
idea
learning
about the
about
new
nature be
theme, it's
useful?
better if we watch this theme often. Please
Learning about
concentrate.
nature and its uses is important for our well-being. When people harvest cranberries from bogs, they send the berries to factories to be made into sauces and juices that we eat and drink. These bamboo trees are more versatile and beneficial than they first might appear. They can be used to make baskets and many other useful items. Imagine, people even turn fibers from the cotton plant into textiles that are made into our t-shirts, blue jeans, and other clothing. What other useful things can you learn from nature?
So we can get from this video that we're going to learn how nature is very useful. Knowing about nature especially is very useful to us. Why? Because nature is full of resources that are beneficial to humans. Let's start with the keywords. First word, civilization. A civilization is a society in which agriculture, trade, art, science, and government are highly developed. You might say, is it like culture? Okay, we can say that culture is a part of the civilization because civilization is wider than culture and it includes more than the culture itself. It includes the agriculture, the trade, not just the traditions and the customs. Example, I am excited to look at the unique artifacts that an ancient civilization left behind. Now, human beings study all civilizations through the ancient leftovers, let's say, for example, or artifacts, or agriculture, or even architecture that is left from old cultures and civilizations. When they study them, they know more about the old civilizations. Complex. Something complex is difficult to understand or do. Sometimes you find something confusing. Yes. Why is it confusing? Because it is complex. It's not easy to do it. Okay, you cannot do it immediately or easily in one way or in following one step only. No, it's difficult and you need to understand it more. The complex jigsaw puzzle was a challenge to finish. Cultivate. What do you mean by cultivate? To cultivate is to improve, develop, or make something better. So when something becomes better, it improves, you cultivate it. Example, it takes time and work to cultivate a beautiful garden. So in order to have a beautiful garden at the end, in order to cultivate a beautiful garden at the end, you need hard working and you need time. Devise. If you devise a strategy, you think about it and plan it carefully. So when there is something, a strategy or steps you are going to follow, okay, you need to devise them. You have to think carefully about it or to put a plan. My mom helped our family devise a plan for eating healthfully. Okay, so this family wants to eat healthfully, so they needed a plan. They devised a plan as if they studied and they put a careful plan together. Fashioned. A pot that has been fashioned has been shaped or molded. For example, here we gave an example of the pot, but you can fashion different things. You mold it, you make its shape, okay? You shape it, you design it. Let's say, for example, I watched as the potter fashioned a vase out of clay. The potter is the person who is making the vase with the clay. Okay, so the potter wants to make the vase, he wants to make the shape of the vase, so he fashioned the vase. Resourceful. A person who is resourceful is skilled in dealing with new or difficult situations, or we can say that he is full with resources. Birds are resourceful when finding materials to build nests. Shortage. A shortage is a lack of supply. When something lacks, then we have a shortage of it. The river was drying up from a shortage of rainwater. So there was a shortage of rainwater. It wasn't raining enough, so the river or the lake was going to dry. Tormentors. Tormentors are people or things that cause pain. Anything that cause pain, okay, we call it tormentor. Flies and mosquitoes can be tormentors to people in summer. We all get annoyed or feel pained when we are surrounded with mosquitoes or flies. So, flies and mosquitoes are considered as tormentors. Okay, guys, since we have finished from the keywords, now let's start with our new story, Survival Land. I'm going to win Survival Land, Raoul declared as he started the computer game. His immobile character suddenly sprang into action on screen. He raced across the desert island, pursued by a sandstorm. Not today, Latrice warned while moving her character on the screen. I'll be the last player standing on the island. Juanita stomped her feet. No way, she insisted. I always devise a winning game plan. Jackson frowned. Survival land is too complex, he complained. You have to know all about nature to win. But in real life, knowing about nature is just not that important. You are so wrong, Juanita cried. A loud crackle sounded, and the entire room went dark. When the lights returned seconds later, the four players were very confused. Instead of controlling their characters on the computer screen, they were on the island themselves. I can't believe it. We're inside the game, Raoul exclaimed. And this sandstorm is blinding me. What should we do? Suddenly, a large sign in the sky flashed a message. Run west to escape the storm. Which way is west? Jackson called. I know, Latrice exclaimed, pointing. The sun is rising over there, and since the sun ascends in the east and sets in the west, west must be in the opposite direction. The four players ran until the sandstorm was safely behind them. Whew, that was close! Raoul gasped with a shortage of breath. Suddenly Juanita shouted, No time to relax! There is a new trouble overhead! The group looked up and saw a gigantic butterfly hovering above them. Juanita feared the monster insect might fly down and land on her head. Just then, Raoul spotted onions growing nearby. He quickly pulled one up and smashed it with a stick. He pulled it apart, fashioned four onion pieces, and said, Rub this all over yourselves now! The giant butterfly floated down and rested its feet on Juanita, just as she had feared. She shrieked in fright, and the gigantic insect flew away. I think my screaming scared it off, Juanita sighed. No, actually, the onion did, Raoul explained. Because butterflies taste with their feet, I knew that the onion's bitterness would drive the insect away. Jackson looked perplexed. Huh? Butterflies taste with their feet? He exclaimed, confused. Yes, Raoul replied. Don't you remember learning the last year in a science class? I guess I was daydreaming that day, Jackson admitted, adding, Raoul, you're a resourceful friend. Then, without warning, an enormous crow flew down and announced, I'm hungry. When the huge bird walked close to Jackson, Juanita tore off the silver bracelet and ring she was wearing and threw them as far as she could. The crow raced after the jewelry, and the friends ran the other way. Even after the bird was out of sight, they kept running, and Jackson called to Juanita. Why did you throw away your jewelry? Juanita explained, I read in a nature book that crows are attracted to shiny objects, so I knew the giant bird would go after the jewelry instead of me. You see, Rose said, looking at Jackson, knowing about nature has saved us again from our tormentors. Finally, the four friends stopped running, but not by choice. They accidentally tripped over a tree log and landed in a gooey mud that covered their faces, making it impossible for them to see. They heard another loud crackle. When the four wiped the mud away and opened their eyes, they were back in Raoul's game room, in front of the computer screen. All the mud was gone, and the electric blue sky had become four white walls. We're off the island, Latrice cried. We survived survival land, and all of us returned to a normal civilization. So who won the game? Raoul wondered. Jackson declared, I think we all did, but I feel like the biggest winner because I've managed to cultivate a new appreciation for nature. Agreed, the friends cried as they wondered what game they might like to play next. So, guys, now that we have finished reading our story, I hope that you have enjoyed it. You have to read it more and more and more in order to understand it better and in order to become fluent in reading. Now it's time to move to the comprehension skill, the facts and opinions. What do I mean by a fact? Let's define a fact. A fact is a true statement. That's it. When we say fact, we mean something that is true. True, not false at all. A fact has evidence or proof, and a fact can be observed. It's something you can observe it, and it's a true, and you have a proof to prove it. These are the two qualities that you have to know about facts. Okay, whenever you have a sentence in front of you, for example, or a statement, and you want to decide if it's a fact or opinion, then you have to ask yourself, does it have an evidence or a proof? Can it be observed? If yes, then it is a fact. Facts contain data and research. They include numbers, dates, and ages, and they can be proved through experiment or observation. If you want to know if this is a fact, you have to ask yourself questions. So, a statement is a fact when you answer yes to these questions. Is the statement true? If yes, then it's a fact. Can the statement be proved? If yes, then it's a fact. Let's have the example. Water boils at 212 degrees. Okay, this is one of the facts that you might face because it can be proved and it's a true statement. Now we move to the opinion. What's an opinion? An opinion is a statement that shows what a person thinks, feels, or believes. So it goes back to the person's own beliefs, thinking or feeling. So when something is related to your mind, your heart, your feelings, and to what you believe, then it is an opinion. So since it's an opinion, okay, it's a belief or a claim, it cannot be proved because people might agree with you, but others might disagree with you. So it's not neither yes nor no, it is maybe. What about opinions and the claims? Opinions or claims, we can call them claims, they contain beliefs and thoughts. They have emotional language like should, best, prefer, love, and they cannot be proved. If I want to know if this is an opinion or no, I have to answer yes for these questions. Is this statement a thought or a feeling? Yes, then it's an opinion. Can you prove it? No. So when you cannot prove it, then it's an opinion. I think Air Jordans are the best shoes in the world. Okay, someone is saying that. Okay, can we prove it that it's the best one? No. Is it a thought or a feeling? Yes, then it's an opinion. One of you might say, now, no, I don't like Air Jordans. I like Nike, for example. I think Nike is the best shoes in the world. Okay, I cannot say that one of you is wrong and the other is correct. No, because he might be correct, I might agree with him, and I might disagree with the second one. It's all up to our opinions. The last objective for our lecture now is the genre of our story that we have read, which is a fantasy. Why is it a fantasy? Okay, whenever I want to say that a text or a story is a fantasy, I have to look out for these three features. First of all, it has a made up setting, made up, okay, it's not real setting. It includes characters and events that are not possible to be in real life. Never, never, never. It's never to be possible to happen in real life. Not in any way. Okay? And the third feature is that they may include sensory languages and personifications. Personification is when we're bringing something, a thing or an animal to act like a person. Okay? So when you have these three features, okay, then you're talking about a fantasy, a made up setting, characters and events that are not possible to be in real life, and the sensory language and personifications. I can tell here that Survival Land is a fantasy because in the story the characters meet a giant butterfly and a giant crow, which could not exist in real life. And also personification occurs when the crow speaks. The crows do not speak. So when we let them to speak in the story, then here we are making personification. Also, they use sensory languages to describe the experiences. Okay, guys, never forget to smile first. And thank you for listening. Get well prepared for the live sessions. If you still have any questions, write them down on a draft and we can discuss them together during the live sessions. Bye bye.